Oh, hello people. Yes, I know it's been a while, but I figure I have to review something, and I randomly came across something somewhat interesting in CEX today, or is it Kex or Sex or whatever, I don't know how to pronounce it. There it is at the bottom. Try to pronounce that for yourself. Anyway, yes, I came across this, or at least I would do if I could get it in shot. Yes, MaxPlay 01. I don't understand what the 1 means. But yes, classic games. Contains 10 retro style arcade games by Datel, who I believe made some unlicensed stuff like Famicom to NES converters or something like that. And it is for PlayStation 2. And don't worry, because it's 100% unofficial. Yeah, I don't really understand why they put that as a blurb, like it was a good thing, but whatever. Turn over on the back. Yes. At least I would turn over if I could get this thing to stand up. Yes. 10 retro style arcade games, like this on the front. Here are screenshots of the games. Fancy yourself as a retro gaming god? Well, apparently you won't be if you don't own this game. That's pretty much what it's saying. There's a joystick that I think looks like the Commodore 64 one, I can't remember. Yes, whether you're a retro junkie or simply enjoy great gameplay, you're guaranteed hours of classic gaming action. They're addictive. Yes, so is Bejeweled. Yes, by Datel Design and Development Limited, who are apparently based in Stone in Staffordshire. I'm pretty sure they meant Stoke, because I've never heard of Stone. Actual appearance may vary, made in England. Which is funny, because I looked in the manual, and it says that it was made by a company in Florida, which, as you might be aware, is not in England. Yeah, when you open the box, yet the sort of instruction sheet thing made out of some laminated stuff. Yeah, you got a nice little logo there. Brief description of the games, and you probably won't be able to see it on the camera, but whatever, not like it's important. UK customer support, which pretty much tells you, yes, this is a British copy of the game. Customer support in the USA, well, that's not important for me, is it? Yeah, apparently they're based in Stone, wherever that is, and Clearwater, Florida. I've never heard of that place, but whatever. I have heard of Florida, I've never heard of Clearwater. And yes, one thing I should point out, it's in one of these awkward things where it's bloody hard to actually get the disc out. I'll try to do it, and yes, apparently it's powered by codejunkies.com. I'm guessing they're probably the people who programmed it, for getting shot. Yes, here's the disc. Basically tells you what it is. It looks a lot better than your typical PS2 disc where it's just plain looking. This looks a lot nicer. Yeah, Volume 1 apparently, which is funny because I've never even heard of this thing before today. I mean, like I said, I bought it in Kex randomly, and I did test it, and it does work on my PS2. I haven't got it chipped or anything. So you don't need to get your PS2 chipped in order to play it, and it says for use on a European console, so presumably this was distributed elsewhere in Europe. Not entirely sure on that though. Powered by codejunkies.com, apparently. But yeah, let's get to the game. Okay, let's put the disc in. Sometime today would be nice. And I should point out that if the screen's crapping out, that's the PS2's fault. The sort of, I think there's a bit of a problem with the AV lead or something like that. So yeah, that's not the game's fault. Just checking make sure it's recording properly, and yes, we start the game up eventually. And it's funny because I wasn't even aware that there was unlicensed software on the PS2, but apparently there is. So yeah, I mean, like I said on the box, 100% unofficial. So we start the game up. I might have to turn the sound down actually. So yes, you may recognise some games. PS can play sort of games from all over the world, although I can't really do that because my PS2 doesn't have internet connection. Yeah, we start this up. You may notice this little border around the screen. Keep that in mind. There are 10 games, as said on the box. Well, I presume there are 10 games at least. Let's go with Bounty Hunter, which gets shown by one by one. Bounty Hunter X by Shen Mansell. Never heard of him. As you may notice, the graphics are not great. I mean, they look like the commentary that Simpsons game. Well, the Simpsons games on Nintendo. Sound is on. Reset high scores and main menu. Apparently, it used the battery. Haven't really checked. Let's go in medium. Okay, choose your second weapon. Killing bullets, conic exodexus. Invincible for a few seconds and big blast. Let's go with the first one, so I don't really care. Okay, kill the enemies. A button to fire, L button to power up, R button to switch. There's a bit of a problem. It doesn't tell you which L button you have to press. I mean, what is it, like ported from a computer or something? If it is, then I really don't know. Okay, it says A button to fire, so presumably these are ported from like a PC or something. Or, actually no, I say PC, it'd probably be Xbox if anything, wouldn't it? And I'm doing really awful. I should point out, by the way, I haven't actually played these games before. Doesn't seem too bad so far. The graphics are very basic, as you probably noticed. I mean, it's, well, I suppose you could say it's like, it looks like a Flash game, really. Which I suppose you'd probably expect that, but still. And I died. Let's go. For intentional reference. Hey, I got a high score. Top Hunter. Sure, that's a game. Let's go back. So yeah, presumably this was released on the Xbox as well, because otherwise, well, the controls would be like that. Chopper 2, I'm not really sure what happened to Chopper 1. By Stealth Studios. Wonderful. Chopper 2, The Return. I've never played the first one. Assuming it even exists. Okay, delete L plus R. Well, I haven't got any profiles, so yeah, arcade. Okay, episode. Well, I didn't tell you what the episode is, so I just picked that leaf. One. Oh, I know what this game is. It's that helicopter game, isn't it? I haven't got a clue how to control it though. It doesn't really tell you how to play it. I'm gonna have to consult the manual for this one, I believe, because I haven't got a clue how to play it. Press X to accelerate upwards. Well, I'm pressing X and it's not doing anything. Okay, now it is. And I have to hold the X button. Okay. Yeah, it's basically the helicopter game that you can find on the internet. It's basically that, really. Graphics in this game look a bit blocky. I mean, the background is at least. Like I said, the graphics in these games are not great. They're, like I said, like a Flash game, really. And I didn't even hit that. That's screw it. Let's go back to the menu. It works the way it is, but it's not great. Loop the loop. Yay. Let's go. Play. Use direction pad or L and R to steer the line. Like I said, of course you have L1 and L2, not L and R on the PS2. Apparently I've got to collect fruits. I can kill the butterflies and smiley faces, and I can kill skulls as well. First line where you say go. Winning, winning, winning. Okay, well the line's a bit confusing. Oh, see, it says, I think, I could be wrong, but this looks a lot like that game Thin Ice on the Intellivision, where you're basically just drawing a line. It also looks a lot like Kicks, as you're probably aware. Except, of course, Kicks, you had to stay around the edge of the screen. So you're basically kill snails by drawing lines around them. And you can collect fruit. Well, it's alright, I mean, reminds me of thin ice really. And yes, if the enemy flies into the thing, I'll probably blow up or something. Presumably, I'm not really sure. Like I said, I haven't played these games before, so I'm not 100% sure. Oh wait, no, apparently not. Okay, well anyway, let's go back to the menu for Invaders. Now this one I have played before. The music is very loud and it says, apparently the title screen calls it from above. Not really sure what's going on there. And yep, it's just Space Invaders. I'll give credit where it's due and say that this does play better than the Famicom port of Space Invaders, although it does seem to think it's some slowdown. I could be wrong on that, but it looks like it to me. Well, it's not the worst game in the world. I mean, it plays like Space Invaders, really. Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to the menu. Dragon Toils 3. Again, not really sure what happened to the first two games. Developed in Dragon Basic. No, that does not sound good. Basic. Yeah, let's go. Oh, so it's just that 15 puzzle, isn't it? Where you basically just... Yeah, I know what this is. You just have to shuffle the tiles around. I actually got this on the PS1. Where it's, I love this, it actually has load times for loading it. I actually have this on the PS1 where it was... What was it called? Atlantis Lost Continents. I mean, that game sucked. But it seemed to... But this mode seemed to work a bit better, from what I remember. Actually, was it a sliding puzzle or was it something else? I can't remember, to be honest. And one problem I've noticed is that it doesn't show you the original picture, so you just have to guess what the original picture looked like. Well, I haven't got a clue. Well, I know what to do there, I just can't be bothered to be any good at it. See, from the title I'd have thought it was like a Mahjong game, but... Well, I say Mahjong, more like Mahjong Titans on PC or whatever. Proxima. Presumably it's another shoot 'em up. Let's go. Oh, I know what this is. This looks a lot like Iridium on the Commodore 64. Yeah. In fact, I actually got ported to the NES as I think it was called The Last Starfighter. You know, like named after the film. So yeah, it's basically Iridium with different graphics and no sound effects. I don't get, like, why don't any of these games have sound effects? And apparently getting hit doesn't kill you instantly in this game. So it's like Iridium except easier. Presumably you have to dodge. Oh, okay, apparently nothing can kill you in this, because I got shot a few times and nothing happened. I'll fly into these things and, well, nothing seems to happen. We gotta blow up everything. We gotta blow up the enemies. I'm not entirely sure actually. I thought the goal would be to blow up all the bases or whatever. So it's basically a rip-off of Iridium on the Commodore 64. And yes, let's move on. Now we've attempt what that game is. Okay, Paddle Panic. I think we might recognise this one. Programmed by European bloke. Okay, apparently I got 4 paddles. Screen. Okay, so reminds you. Okay, what is with the slowdown? Like it constantly lags during the game. I don't get it. Well, this reminds me a lot of. This reminds me of Kirby's Block Ball, and apparently I died, even though it didn't actually go through the side. Okay, I don't get this. God of the ominous music, by the way. Yes, ominous music for a Breakout clone. But yeah, it's Breakout pretty much. I mean, it lags a lot, which kind of ruins the experience, which is a bit of a problem. Yes. It's, well, to be honest, I prefer alleyway over this. This is not great. And you get so many balls as well. Anyway, let's play Jetpack 2. I don't know what this is. Once again, where was Jetpack 1? Okay, let's start. Apparently, okay, map info, name, indestructible? Okay, I don't get that. Where do I start? Gold game. Is that how you start? I have no clue what I'm doing. What am I doing? Okay, apparently I can choose the map or something. Okay, start begins. Should have guessed that really. Okay, you hold up to use your jetpack, fair enough. The graphics are a bit distracting now. And apparently I've got an assault rifle. Okay, well, there's loads on. Why are there ladders everywhere? I mean, if you use a jetpack, you don't need ladders, do you? Can't just Speedy Egbert, except with guns. And you always have the jetpack on you. Okay, the level design does not seem to be great. Like I'm just falling. Oh, okay. Eventually you land. And I'm assuming the goal is basically to kill everyone in the map or something. And apparently they have missiles or something. And he is dead, and I'm almost dead myself. Great. Let's go back. Okay, pop 'em. Presumably not drugs. Let's go. Yes, pop 'em. Great. Avoid balls on screen to increase multiplayer. Dying resets it. Great. Well, yes, I think some of you will recognise this game. It's obviously Super Pang, isn't it? I'm not great at this game, I will admit. By that I mean Super Pang. Presumably this plays just like it, really. Okay, now I get 2 balls right away now instead of 1. So yeah, it's basically Super Pang with like a space theme. Great. This isn't great, I mean it's decent enough, but nah, I prefer the original. And I think this is the last game, isn't it? Yes, Super Power Shot. Great name. Yes, let's start. Okay, let's just go for level 0 because I can't actually pick any of the low levels. Okay, what is this? Okay, well, I think I know what this is. This reminds you of that Korean game where you... Yeah, this reminds you of that Korean game, Ball Story or whatever it's called. It was like a unlicensed game for the Famicom or Comboy or whatever. That was a pretty awful game. This seems to be a somewhat less awful. Mainly because you don't die constantly. Trust me, that game was terrible. So yeah, I presume you just have to destroy the blocks. Actually no, I presume you have to collect the stars, don't you? That's what I assume. The controls are not great. It's a bit of a pain in the arse to actually go where you want to. But this is better than the game it's based off. Well, I presume it's based off. That might be based off something else, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, overall these are sort of, well, they're basically just 10 mediocre Flash